Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning, everyone, on this Fins-tastic Friday. You are watching Dolphins Chatter with me, Dolphins Thirsty, and Steve Malloy this morning. Let me bring him in here. Good morning, Steve. How is everything out in Texas?
Great. Thank you, Rob. Good morning. Yeah, it's a sunny day out. It's going to be 90, cool 91 degrees today.
Cool. Hey, yeah, I know you guys were like 111 or something like that a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, 90
that's
sounds
right.
a lot better. So it's
absolutely.
It's hot all around the nation. I was seeing because I'm in my Boston Red Sox last night. They were playing and they were like at 85 and they were sweating like it's 200 degrees, you know?
Yeah, up there in the Northeast, yeah.
And Ender is in the house. So good morning, Ender.
Good morning.
Let's see. So now there. Good morning. I was going to see if Steve could learn. So I don't know, but you better get it going, Steve. Don't worry. But anyway, Steve, there's not too much going on in the Miami Dolphins front. I've been checking the news all morning. Nothing new on the Dalvin Cook front. Some people are saying it's gaining steam with the Jets. But then yesterday, his agent tweets out that he's in Miami, Florida with the eyeballs. So you never know where anyone stands. Everyone's speculating at this point on Dalvin Cook. So anyone's guess is as good as anyone else's guess until he actually signs the dotted line. I'm thinking that he's going to probably end up getting better money than what a lot of people think because there seems to be competition for his services. So it could go that way. And today's show theme is going to be who gets the money, because the Dolphins right now, as they stand, have approximately a little over $12 million. But of that $12 million, a lot of that would go to Dalvin Cook, and it would basically out at that point. But as we know, Christian Wilkins, he wants more money. He wants an extension. Sieler, I always mess up his name. He wants more money. Connor Williams, he wants more money. And of course, a lot of players want more money, but these are the guys that have made it known that they want to be paid up, they're all entering their final year of their contract. So that's where it becomes a sticky situation, in my view, is do you bring in outside help first, or do you make the guy that's already on your roster happy first? Because, you don't want to rock the boat too much. You're always looking to make the team better, but you also don't want the chemistry of the team getting messed up with guys that are upset, like, oh, man, they bring in this guy, and I've been busting my ass for 4 years. They're bringing my all 100% of the time, and the thanks I get is they bring in some guy that hasn't even played 1 minute for the team, So it's that fine line, and they understand it's a business. But when it comes to business on their side, when they got the leverage next year, they can say, oh, I remember how Miami treated me. I'm out of there, because they didn't give me mine. So now I'm jumping to get mine. So we'll see. I mean, they'll all have to play this year. They're not going to sit out. They may not be happy, but they're going to go out and give their 100% because that's what they're getting paid to do. And then if you show on film that you gave up, they're not going to get that big contract. So they got to play, but hopefully they come in and maybe extend at least one of them. I know Christian Wilkins is the one that you and I have talked about, and we're not saying we want this to happen, but we're saying that he is the one valuable asset that we have under control that some team may want if we realize we're not going to sign him. But you and I both want him to be signed with Miami, but if he's not, he is someone that the Dolphins maybe could move to pick up draft assets for the future to keep their salaries more even kill. So do you still believe that? Do you still want him to stay, but also realize he could be flipped?
Yeah, I we're talking about the monies, right? Who gets the money? Well, we already know what Vic Fangio said, right? He's happy with some of the talent that he has on the team, but they're going to have to play very good this year. And then there's some young folks that need to step up, or maybe and I believe that he needs maybe a couple more, 2 or 3 pieces on that defense. So if I were the Miami Dolphins, and I think they might be bending or leaning towards this way, is I think they're going to add some more on the defense. And I believe the Cook thing is the hold up right now. I think if the Jets get Cook, I think Christian Wilkins will be signed, and he might even be signed for his money that he wants, around $20 million. If we do get Cook, then I think it's a possibility that they play that game and they trade Christian Wilkins, keep Zach Sieler or Zealer, however you pronounce it.
Don't worry, I mess up. Evan would tell us how to pronounce it. Evan's in the house here, so
they keep him, go for the cheaper option, and get basically the same production, and trade Christian Wilkins, as we've talked in the past, for draft capital.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. That could be a possibility. I end up thinking they sign him. I end up thinking they sign him, but it is a possibility if they sign him, it will free up money for this year. Next year becomes an issue when all those big contracts start coming due. But this year they could actually free up money by giving Wilkins an extension and still fit Dalvin Cook in and maybe easier.
Right.
I
see we got Evan in the house. Cool. Evan made the correction. It's Sieler.
Sieler. Hey, that's
Sieler.
I need
Thank
that.
you,
I
Evan.
need to write that down because I just like calling him Zach. But in Miami Dolphins history, when you say Zach, everyone thinks Zach Thomas here.
Right.
So I don't want to just say Zach. So like Tua's a lot easier, but I know how to say Tua's last name, Tagovailoa, than I do. I just always forget. I said Sieler, Zealer, whatever. I always want to change it. I don't know why.
Well, I like the way those
names, but yeah,
I like the way Evan breaks it down. Sieler.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
My Dolphin hat that I got at Kingsworth the other days over there. This one I'm wearing today. I tried to change it up. Hank, man, the old bandwagon's in the house here. Hank and Evan, man, the old bandwagon team is in there. Evan's still part of the bandwagon, but now Hank is over on the Fins Talk every Saturday at noon on the Fins Talk Sports Network, and Evan's also on the Fins Talk Sports Network. All good stuff. And so are you, Steve, and so am I.
Yes.
On the Fins Talk Sports Network. But look, Hank is giving Evan the old son thing there. But anyway, back to the Dolphins. Yes, I think Cook is going to sign somewhere. It's just, who knows? Because like I said, if you believe Mike Florio, it's the Jets are like the leader in the clubhouse, and that's gaining traction because they don't know about their running back situation, because their rookie was having a rookie of the year type year, but then he got hurt. So is he going to come back 100% by start of the season? So that's where we stand, and I guess that's why some people are thinking the Jets may be. But I even saw New England mention that they want both D-Hop and Cook to come into New England.
Right.
And let's see. Hey, Martina, I got to catch up on some people here because I saw someone from Massachusetts. Oh, Fins Nation TV. Good morning. Huge shout out from you all from Massachusetts. Fins up to you, Fins Nation, and fins up to you guys. Martina, Evan, and of course, Hank. But anyway, so back on that, man. Back on that. I just wanted to get caught up. I don't like leaving anyone out. And now everyone, I'm caught up. So, like you said, I think Kristen stays. And I agree with Evan. I believe he stays. But there's going to, and that will free up money for this year. If they know he's going to stay, they might as well get him now, because then it frees up money this year and gets you, more flexibility to make any other moves you want to bring in this year, which could be another defensive tackle. Because like Barry Jackson has reported, he's surprised that the Dolphins haven't brought more depth in, because that's where we're kind of weak at.
Exactly. Exactly.
So he's surprised we haven't touched more on the defensive tackle this offseason. And there are a couple veterans out there that could become available.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We don't know. We don't know what the Dolphins are thinking. And I do agree with you. We're waiting for what Dalvin Cook decides to do, because the Dolphins have to keep that. If they have an offer on the table that's reportedly out there, they have to keep that money available. So they can't go signing other things until Cook makes his decision, because
And
they don't
that's
know
what I
how
was
much money
saying.
they
And that's
have.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I think is the holdup right now. Is they're waiting on what is Cook making his decision to come to Miami? Is he going to go to the Jets? And I think that's the holdup right now. But as far as the monies goes, I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to say that if the Cook thing doesn't go through, I really believe they're going to add depth to that defense. And they'll probably go on ahead and sign Christian Wilkins to an extension, which I'd like to see. He's a solid guy on our defense. He's the leader on there. So yeah, I'd like to see him, but realistically, I mean, it just all depends. I mean, we do need draft capital. I mean, we don't have anything for next year, right?
No, I mean, we got everything other than the third. We got a first and a second.
Okay, the
third, the NFL took away as part of the punishment.
Right.
I think that's the
Right.
final punishment. We got no third next year.
Right.
So yes, Sanders has no competition. The punter has, the punting position has competition, but the place kicker still has no. But as Evan pointed out, Jason Sanders did improve last year towards the end of the season and kind of gave us a feel that he was back. Let's see what Evan had to say. Anyway, guys, I dropped the link if you guys want to join. If Cook signs for the Jets, the money will end up being less with taxes.
True.
Just come home. I agree, Evan. I just want him to come home. I think he's a good fit here in Miami. He called himself the perfect fit. I mean, he's flirting with the Miami Dolphins. All things being equal, he wants to be a Miami Dolphin. But obviously, finances, if it's going to come down to a few $1 million difference a year, his loyalty to come home only goes so far. But if the Dolphins are in the ballpark with the Jets, I do believe he will choose Miami over the Jets. But if the Jets knock it out of the ballpark and, we're like $3 or $4 million under the Jets, then it becomes just a whole different ball game. So that's it. We just don't know none of us know, because, there were reports from other Dolphin YouTubers that, Cook was not happy with what the offers he got from all the teams, and that's why he didn't sign right away.
Yeah. Martina makes a good point. Yeah, she says, I prioritize extending Wilkins, Sieler, Hunt, and Williams before making a move for Cook. Yes, we can create more cap this year, but the squeeze is on next year for sure. We got 29 free agents next year. Yeah, sure.
Good comment.
Great point.
And I'm with you, Martina. That is very well said. And that's where, that's basically, let's see. I was going to give her there we go. That was like very well said. She gets an applause, because that's how I feel too. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm biased, but that's how I feel too. I would like to take care of those guys first, get them in there. The squeeze is definitely on for next year. I think Barry Jackson, to quote him one more time today, he said that the Dolphins I think they're like close to 30 million, something over the cap next year already, So that's why he was saying maybe, because right now we got about 12 million. So if we don't sign up to that, we can carry that over to next year, and that would help that cap situation next year if we carry over some of the cap space. So hey, DG Live, make sure you guys check out DG Live. He has a good YouTube channel. Yesterday, he has a really good video out there about the Miami Dolphins number 3 receiver position. I watched the whole thing, and it was a very well put together video. Dalvin Cook was split with Breece Hall in Miami. He'd probably be number 1. I agree, DG, that he would probably be number 1 here, but there is we do have a big running back room, but he would be the number 1 of that running back room for sure. But we got solid running back, but he would be the stud of the running back room. And then, hopefully Devon A-Chain develops into the stuff that we all hope have. Like I say, I'm off the chain for A-Chain. I want him to really have, but he is a rookie, so we don't know what he's going to bring to the table in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm digging in the trenches. My normal host at this time of day is there, but he's out there working today. So it's all great. Oh, here comes Hank. Let's bring Hank into this. Oh, Hank is rocking.
Hank, how you doing, buddy?
Yo, what is going on, fellas?
All right,
Man,
how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
I'm gonna be able to test out my new setup here, my 3-panel. I've been wanting to try this and see how it looks for 3 people. So give me 1 minute, guys. You can talk, one of you guys. I'm looking for my new background.
So what's up, Steve? What's the good news?
Well, here we're talking about who's going to get the money. What's your opinion on Cook?
Cook? Wow. I'm really kind of on the edge because I didn't think it would take this long. But we kind of all knew that it would be OTAs around before he really made his decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope that Miami's sitting. This is my hopes that Miami's sitting at $6 million, and he's having a hard time considering what he wants to do. That's what I'm hoping. But if not, then I hope that Miami bumps it up $1 million, maybe. And I've said this before with Rob. I hope. I want Dalvin Cook on the team, not as a detriment to the rest of the team, obviously. I don't want to see that happen. So, but, I really like to have Dalvin Cook on this team. It would help the offense that we're all concerned with. And if you're not concerned with it, that they've done quite a bit, but there's still some concerns on the offensive line. And I think it would only help the offensive line by bringing him in. But like I said, I don't want to hurt the rest of the team for that. I wouldn't want to do that.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Hank, real quick.
Yes, sir.
So, Dalvin Cook, do you believe that Mike McDaniel will actually utilize his skills? Because we've got a Ferrari, we've got a Maserati, and we've got 2 Lamborghinis in the backfield.
Well, I think if they bring Cook in, that Wilson might be the odd man out.
Wow. You think it would be Wilson as the odd man out?
Or Gaskins?
I don't know. I don't know. He could be. Hey, CJ.
Gaskins, but I'm just saying, if they have to kick somebody out.
Yeah.
Could be Gaskin. I mean, obviously, but
yeah, Gaskin would probably be the one I would think. But
I for whatever, I just think Wilson would be out of there if you bring in Cook, because Cook has a lot of things that he can do that Wilson does.
I know, but Wilson is a little bit. We don't have a thumper maybe, but Wilson is one of our better thumpers just for that. So I don't know. It's really.
I don't think Miami's looking for a thumper. I don't think they're looking for a bell
I think
cow.
they would trade him, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I think they would try to trade him somehow and get something if they brought Cook in. That's why it's not so much they get rid of him. I think he has more value than anybody else.
Even more value than Gaskins?
I think he has more value than Gaskin.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too, because I don't think Gaskin really has any value other than us for the most part. But, we will see, because he's been okay for us. He's always like that guy that does.
He was a starter for us for a couple years, right? So, I mean, he didn't do bad, but he didn't have a line.
Yeah, no, exactly. And hey, Martina makes another good point. Give me another quality offensive tackle or quality player to play DT before signing a 5th RB.
They're not going to do it.
Is Cook the next time here? This time next year, A-Chain will be the new star RB. Everyone will know. I hope you're right on that part. The last part, at least.
Here's for you for nose tackle, because we need depth there.
I agree.
How about Akeem Hicks?
I know Hakeem Nicks. I think if my buddy Justin is digging in the trenches, he always has the names on top of his head. But he likes Hakeem Hicks. He mentions him a lot. I think Shelby Harris is another name or something that he likes. Cook comes in, H-Chain takes back seat, but sees some slot receiver snaps.
Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a good point. That's a good point there.
Oh, he's another guy that just as like under the radar guy that's already on the Dolphins roster. He likes him because he does all of his draft stuff, like him and Bobby and all these guys. They really get into the draft, and so do I. This year I didn't get into the draft as much, so I would take Justin's word because he did all my stuff on DolphinThirsty.com. He did all my draft stuff. I just put my name on it, and he did all the research. So we were a good team. But he knows all his stuff, so I would take his word that guy has potential. But
Definitely.
so no, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Hey,
but yeah, I agree though. But the running back does make us good. And the funny thing is, Justin used to not be, and just like Steve at first, both of you guys weren't that big on the Dalvin Cook, but you guys both warmed up to it, and seemed to think that it would be a good move. That I know you're still, but you're lukewarm.
I've warmed up to it. But I'll take it or leave it. I'll be honest with you. Here, I want to pose this question to you two guys. I know we've been talking about the offense. We've been talking about Tua Tagovailoa, our quarterback. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to be consistent, and all this kind of stuff. And we've been talking offense. But you know what? Do you guys think that maybe the key to winning this year and having a good year and going to the playoffs is the defense? As opposed to the defense?
I think the offense is going to run regardless of who's back there. Okay,
right.
So everybody that keeps saying Tua this, Tua that, I'm not concerned about Tua. All right. Like you said, I'm more concerned with the depth, especially on our defensive line. We just don't have a lot of depth on that defensive line, and nose tackle in particular. And if who do you have that's going to take up two guys on the defense? If you lose like a Raekwon Davis or you lose somebody, in that center at the nose tackle, you have nobody on this defense that takes up two bodies, that can continuously take up two bodies.
I agree.
We need depth there. I don't know who we're going to get or why we're going to get them, but that's where I'm more concerned than any other position on that, and linebacker, of course. We all know linebackers a mixed bag. So
I know, especially because we're counting a lot on David Long to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a big.
And Deshaun Elliott to stay healthy, and both of them are have been
yes, he is.
He's already hurt.
I know. And Deshaun Elliott, though, supposedly has an injury he's dealing with too. So a couple of the names that we're hoping for, but
that's the typical theme in Miami.
Yeah, I think we're like 12 days or 11 days or something like that away, probably.
Yeah, we're like 11 days.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what I said. So we're getting close to and that's the rookies reporting, then the veterans a few days after that. But yeah, it's getting close, man. All this off season, all of us here on Dolphin Thirsty Network and the Fins Talk Sports Network, we've been biding our time. Some people on the Fins Talk Sports Network are big fans of other teams outside. The three of us happen to be almost all Dolphin. I do like myself some baseball. But, like some of them, so they've had time to pass to talk about basketball and all the other stuff. You and I, and we're basically Miami Dolphins hungry all the time, or Dolphins thirsty all the time. Oh, which is a good segue. Guys, if you're here, I would love a fins up, but YouTube and Facebook calls it a thumbs up. So please give me one of those. And if you really like us and you're new here, join our team. And by joining the team, I mean tackle that subscribe button. I don't look at you as a subscriber. I look at you as a teammate, because I'm just here to talk about the Miami Dolphins, which I have a thirst for. So make sure. Thank you guys, as always. But anyway, back to the good stuff.
Hey, Thirsty.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture of my car?
No. Oh, no. You have it now finally?
Well, I don't have it yet. But I posted some pictures on Twitter of it.
Oh, I will go look at it later. I've been keeping updated all the
you
way.
Didn't see it? You didn't see it? Oh,
Steve
my
God.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
I will go look at it right after the show,
You should see it, man.
I somehow missed you in my timeline. I wasn't on Twitter much yesterday if you posted it yesterday. I was busy getting together with old friends yesterday and stuff. So
yeah, that was when I did it, was yesterday.
All right. So I would definitely go look at it. Good morning, Vito. Another great
Vito.
Dolphin fan in the house.
What's up? Fins up, bro. I see Vito on Twitter all the time.
Oh, no, he's there. Vito's the best on Twitter. Always positive, man. He's like, I don't have to worry about blocking him from my timeline with all the negative Nancy or negative Ned. I don't want to drop it just on the ladies. Negative Ned's out there. So, walk dog 1, 2, 3, 4. Wilkes takes up 2 body, but he's actually a 3-4 DN, not a 3-4 nose tackle. Miami will add to the DL room before or during training camp when final cuts happen from another team.
Yes, Wilkins does, but he can't do it all game long. He just isn't. He can't do it all game long.
No,
there's no way.
He's not big enough, number one.
That, and he needs speed. He likes, he likes working one-on-one, and you want him one-on-one. You'd rather have that nose tackle taking up that body. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with, on all fronts, Of course, in Dolphin fans, we want us to have, like, all pros at every position and, like, pro bowlers at backup, So that's what we want as Dolphin fans, but we can't always get that. So we're going to be strong in some areas. That's just the current way. With a salary cap, almost every team's, unless you
Let me
draft
ask you guys this.
well.
How many years has it been since, like, national media like ESPN or Sports Illustrated have come out and said Miami's in the top 5?
Oh, I know. They put us above the Cincinnati Bengals. I cannot believe they put us above.
How long has it been since they've been talking about this team like this? That should tell you. If you're wondering how Miami's doing, just listen to the national media, because they're starting to let you know what we already knew. We have a great nucleus in this team 2 years ago, but it needed the other pieces. We have those other pieces now. The only one that I really want now is Dalvin Cook and a nose tackle and maybe another linebacker, because I don't think that the flimsy linebackers we have are going to hold up.
No, I agree. I agree. And Vic Fangio, when he was talking to the media, I mean, he was vague, very vague in a lot of what he said, but I think he was pointing the fingers at the linebackers and in defensive line depth. That's what I think. So
yeah, definitely. He definitely wasn't taking shot at the cornerbacks and safeties in the defensive backfield.
Right.
So definitely it's either linebacker or defensive line. He took that little jab at without taking a real jab, but just said, some positions we could use improvement, basically.
Yeah.
Right. And digging in the trenches again, bringing home the material. These guys are undrafted rookies. If you guys aren't sure who these names he has in there, Pearly, Charlie Montano, and Nelson kids out of Nebraska. Pillai is out of USC, and Charlton I'm drawing a blank on right now, but he's another undrafted free agent. I'm thinking Dolphins will bring in more value than overpaid vet. Not my opinion. I would add a vet, Hicks, Joseph, or Harris, to let battle to him. So
that's who I was saying was Hicks. Yeah.
Now you are, and Martina. That's the $1 million Creston. Speaking of our linebackers.
Yes.
And Kendall get on the field this year.
Yeah.
This offseason so far this year has been very underwhelming, according to reports. Yes, I've read that too. People are saying he still looks a little bit lost out there, which is not good because he has all the tools, physical tools. Every physical tool you would want in the book. He's fast, he's quick, but if he's not picking it up, and especially in a Fangio defense, he's not going to deal with mental errors and, dealing with that stuff. So if he can get the mental part of the pro game right, the guy is talented. I mean, he's fast. He brings speed to the linebacker, just add speed to the Dolphins, who's already one of the fastest teams.
Hey,
so I hope, and I really hope Kendall.
You never know. During preseason, during OTAs, the kid might just suddenly – I've had that happen to me before, changing jobs in the Coast Guard. I'd go somewhere and it'd take me a little while, and then all of a sudden you'd hit about the 2nd or 3rd month, and boom, everything.
Yeah. Well, he's been here a whole year now, so he better start. It better. I know it's going to be a new defense again, whatever, but man, he needs to go because he's just we drafted him pretty high. We didn't even have
Yeah, and that's a good point, Rob.
What's that?
That's a good point you just made. It's a new defense that we have this year.
Yeah, and I think that's what's confusing the kid. He had problems last year. And now you add a new defense, and he's going, oh, I was just finally getting what was going on last year, and now you're changing. I can understand that, but still, it's still the basic position he's playing. He's playing the same position. It's not like they're changing his position.
Right.
He still had to account for the running backs out of the backfield. He still had to pick up tight ends going out for the pass. All these things they still have to do regardless, And like you said, if this kid has that much talent, they got to get him on the field soon. They have to start playing him, let him make a few mistakes here and there, throw him in at least a couple times. You know what I mean? Thursday, they didn't throw him in, but 1 or 2 times last year.
I know.
Yeah, it was against Baltimore. Wasn't it against Baltimore? I think it was against Baltimore.
Well, I know against Chicago he played
or Chicago. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But the thing with him is you could tell he can fly around the field. He's very quick, but the problem with him was he was out of place.
Yeah, I know.
He would run past. He would run past the play.
Yeah, right. If your speed doesn't do you any good if you're out of the place. Block Dog already believes that Tyndall isn't a starting linebacker. He's likely a career special team. Even if he becomes a special teams ace, at least that's okay because
that's fine. We need special teams aces.
But it'd be a shame, but we could use a special teams ace. So that'd be fine.
Remember Izzo?
Yeah. Hey, of course. So players like that on the team. It's we put a lot of pressure on him last year as Dolphin fans because we didn't have picks early, but he was our first pick of the draft. So we know we all kind of propped him up there as being the guy because he was our first pick. Normally, by the 3rd round or whatever, when we picked him, you're like, okay, just like A-Chain. Yeah, he's a rookie. We're going to have to give him some time to get ready and come in. But he was our first pick. So you're like, all right, he's our guy. He's like basically our 1st round pick. So we all kind of expect him to come in and play and be a stud, and it just didn't happen. So
A-Chain's coming in and doing very well, so I'm happy about it.
I think so. I do believe running backs are a little more quick to get into the speed of things. Because like Breece Hall on the Jets last year, he was having unfortunately the Jets have been drafting very well recently because he was probably going to win Rookie of the Year offensively. Then he got hurt. Then their receiver guy, Wilson, and he ends up winning, offensive Rookie of the Year, and they had the defensive Rookie of the Year. So unfortunately, the Jets are good. I hate to say it because they're my least favorite team in the AFC East. I've always, and I'm an old petty guy, but I remember when the Jets, back when they had Gastineau, Klecko, and Marty Lyons taking out the White Stevenson, and I've never liked.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm petty. I'm like, well, if the Dolphins don't win, I just hope the Jets don't win, So at least then it makes, for a little bit of
the way I used to think about it, Thirsty, was we're all in the AFC East, and if our team didn't make it, I at least wanted a team from the AFC East to make it until the Patriots came along. Then I was like, I don't want the Patriots to win, and now I hate the Patriots.
Well, yeah, because they win. They took winning to the next level. They win.
20 years of my life and fun.
Yeah, I know. They won way too much, and that's why Buffalo hasn't. Our resident Buffalo Bills fan hasn't come in today. Normally, we got a Buffalo Bills fan giving me grief in here. He's a good guy, though. Always gives me the thumbs
Hank,
up.
I remember when the New England Patriots stunk. I remember when they were the Boston Patriots.
Oh
yeah, no. Hey,
they were horrible for a long time.
Long time, man.
Well, Buffalo sucked for the whole 1970s.
Yeah, Buffalo did too. Yeah.
No, the Dolphins beat them every time in the 1970s, and then Buffalo went on to be. They had our numbers, though. Unfortunately, in the 80s, Buffalo had our number. Buffalo choked in the Super Bowls, but they,
But
they
here's
had
the
our
thing.
numbers.
Here's the thing: in the 70s, those teams weren't very good, Buffalo and New England. But when they played Miami, the Jets as well, they always played them great. They always played them good.
Yeah. Well, Miami did. During the perfect season, though, Miami did put a hurting on New England.
Yeah, but
nothing.
Yeah, but they lost they beat Buffalo 24-23.
Yeah, I know.
That was a close game. They almost lost that game.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's crazy, man. Crazy to think, but hey, we're still the only team in Perfectville, so that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Well, I just wanted to come on real quick and say hi to you guys. I don't want to take
thank you, Hank. And I will go look at your Corvettes because, like I said, yesterday I was busy. Saw some people I hadn't seen for a couple years, so it was all good.
Yeah,
So,
it's not done yet. I just showed like they put on the
yeah, I've
side
seen your
panel.
renditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They put on the side panel and it looks really good.
What's
Listen,
left? What's left, Hank? What's left to be done on that?
They
the
have
car?
to do the left side, the driver's side. They have
okay.
to do the front, the front end, and the the trunk
right
in the front, and they have to reassemble the car.
if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, he's getting his car done in a Miami Dolphins wrap. It's going to look really sharp. We will share the photos on here once it's all done. And it's going to really look good, Hank. You're going to get a lot of people when you roll into the stadium next year parking lot. Everyone's going to be looking at you.
Hey, just remember, it's all for me. And hopefully other people enjoy it too. I don't want people to be like giving me the finger on the road or nothing.
Yeah, well, you might get some.
I'm sure you might get some of that.
I mean, I'm used to where you drive it in the car. It's a nice car. You know, it took me a lifetime to get there, but it's a nice car. And people wave to you. People wave to you. Now they might be giving me the finger. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're not Dolphin fans. If you run into some Jet fans or Patriots fans there in the Orlando area, yeah, you may get some. Definitely.
Because, there are a lot of Jaguar and Bucks fans around here too, though. So
that's
careful.
I know you're right in the center of Florida, so you got all the teams
that's right.
not too far from you. So, but I'm
all
happy
right, fellas.
Later, Hank.
Thanks for having me.
And take care.
Fins. All right,
Everybody
fins
else,
up.
fins up.
All right. Later. Oh, that was cool. He made a stop by. Any of you guys, I've dropped a link if you want to join too. And let me get back to my other background. So, Steve, like I said, it was nice having Hank in here.
Sure was.
I have to go look at his car. He has a nice car, and that's going to really look cool.
It's a Corvette.
Sorry, I was distracted looking for my
brand new Corvette.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. So, but like I said, we don't know who's going to get the money. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to get the money for the Miami Dolphins because we got a lot of those guys, and we've had people in the room today giving their opinions of it. Is it going to be Zach Sieler? There you go. If Hank's still there, or is it going to be Kristen Wilkins? All those guys, man. Connor Williams. None of us even thought about Connor Williams, and then he held out during one of those, mini camps, and people are like, "Oh, he wants his money." So we didn't even think about him when we were talking about.
I don't think Miami's going to give Connor Williams a priority over a Wilkins. I just don't see it.
No, I don't either. I don't.
I think Connor Williams is just going to have to play this year out, and if he can play like he did last year, then okay, maybe you think about giving him a little more money. But I know he was playing out of position. He's normally a left guard, and he played good. He held his own, and he was top 5, center. But let's give him another year.
Yeah, I know. Let's see how he does.
Another year. Let's see how he does this year.
And if he does well, he's going to get a huge contract from someone.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and it would be well deserved. And
either Miami or someone else. You're right.
This is where Miami needs to start being smart and finding cheaper talent that they develop. That's where you stay and sustain winning. And for whatever reason, we have not done that well on the offensive line. So Hunt might be the exception. He's doing well, but we had to pay for Connor Williams. We had to pay for Armstead. So 2 of the 3 guys that we like, we had to go outside and bring them into the organization. You got to start hitting some home runs in the draft at offensive line. For whatever reason, I don't know, bad scouting, bad coaching, but for whatever reason, we don't coach up our – because, I mean, Austin Jackson obviously has some talent, but we just haven't gotten the most out of him. Maybe he steps up this year and does well. And then, that's what we want. We want him to play so well that we probably can't afford to keep him next year because he went and outplayed his contract and teams will give him big money because we did not put the 5th-year option on him. So, he's free to go after this year if he balls out. But unfortunately, he hasn't given me anything to give me hope that he is going to ball out because between injuries and not great performance, there's not a lot to go on. So I mean, the kid tries. I give him that. He's a good dude, but good dudes, is one thing, but good football players is what the Dolphins need. So,
Yeah, true.
where's your thoughts on Austin Jackson? You still have hope?
No. I don't.
Well, I keep saying,
I really
big-time
don't.
Robert Hunt and Connor. Wilkins, Zach will have to wait and see approach with Vic's defense. The best guy will get the money, and the other will walk.
Yeah, I don't have any hope on with Austin Jackson's and Liam Eichenberg. I just don't.
Well, you're already on. You're on. Hey, good morning, Marinos. Go. I agree with you on that. Thumbs up to you and sunshine to you as well. You guys are awesome coming in here. And that reminds me, guys, I'm going to be having my top 5 Miami Dolphins all time. That's going to be a pre-recorded video. I'm in the process of making it. I'm usually just doing live shows, so I'm allowed to get away with bad editing if something goes wrong. During the pre-recorded shows, people want better, so I'm not good at that. I don't know how to edit, so I'm learning how to make it look good. So if any of you guys are editors, teach me the tricks, because I want to do top 5 Miami Dolphins of all time. And just a hint, Marino will be on there. I won't tell you if he's number 1, number 5, number 4, 3, or 2, but he's in my top 5 of all time on the Miami Dolphins. So that's going to be a fun video to put together. So, and don't worry, Steve, I got one of your favorites of all time in there too. So you'll be happy. So
good.
Don't worry, I don't want to reveal my whole list, but one of your favorites.
39, baby.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be fun. But yeah, really, I mean, we don't have too much to talk about at this time because we are in a holding pattern until Cook. I keep on hoping that someone pops in here because I try not to hit social media while I'm in here so I don't get distracted. I'm already distracted trying to produce. It's why you guys see me looking down sometimes to see if anyone throws in a comment. But, so that's why I got to look down and see if anyone's saying anything. So, but I don't try to go to social media. So I would love it if come in here and gives me real news. Sometimes people come try to give me fake news like, oh, Tom Brady's coming out of retirement and he's coming to the Dolphins. Some silly stuff like that. But like real news on the Dalvin Cook, if you guys ever see it while I'm in here blabbing live, please let me know. So let's see. He comes again. Not going to be good if Robert Hunt walks in 2024. Teams don't tag RGs. Spend some money on the line. And Robert Hunt is the guy. So, no, I agree with that. I believe that Hunt, we did finally nail one of our offensive line spots. Well, Steve, you lost me, Steve. Let's see. Are you coming back in, Steve?
Right here.
There you go. I don't know what
I'm just
happened.
playing around.
Okay. Hey, that's all good, man. I was like, man, what did I say to get him going?
See, you give me administrative rights, and I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't comment. You can't like highlight one of the comments.
I cannot do that.
See what Martina just said?
Yes.
No, you can't click on that and have it flash up.
No. It keeps
disappearing. If you move your mouse or your pad and put the arrow over it and click it.
No, it
Sorry,
keeps
Martina,
disappearing.
we're using you as an XC. Okay, see, I won't do it then.
How about if I do this, Rob? I'm going to click on it. It says plus show. I'm going to hit that plus show and see what it does.
Yeah. If you hit the plus show, but now it will probably take it away because I have her on there. Okay, do it now.
All right. I'm just going to.
Sorry, guys.
There we go. See? Oh, no, that's not it.
Yeah, but you did do it. But you did. Get one.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. What dog? Dylan Phillips
there we go.
did an hour interview with NBC Sports 3 days. Oh, I did see that he did that, but I have not seen it yet. I did see that he's talked about Tua and everything, so I do want to see it. I just have not seen it yet.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Still improve. He's still young. I agree. He's very young. Yes, he was very young when we drafted him, but there was no decision to make. Miami couldn't take Austin Jackson 5th-year options. He's close to a first-round bust so far. Yes, that's what I agree with Martina. She knows that on the head once again. So, but we will see because there was some word that he was doing better last year. Then he got hurt, so we don't know. But this year we're going to know because if he stays healthy, we're going to know. If he
let me put it to you this way, Rob. I know you asked me how do I feel about Austin Jackson. I think Austin Jackson, if any of the two will improve,
right,
it will be Austin Jackson.
Okay.
I think Liam Eichenberg is done. That's just my
Okay.
opinion. He belongs in the XFL. That's just my
Oh,
opinion.
wow. You're harsh on the old Notre Damer. Figures we missed. Notre Dame has a lot of good history of having offensive linemen come to the NFL and do well. But so far, he's hard.
I've
That
just
was a
got
little
more
harsh.
film.
I still give him a little bit of time, but yeah, he hasn't shown
No,
yet.
I've got more film on Liam Eichenberg. He played over 600 snaps last year
I know, and he
because he
had
got
a
hurt
lot of
too.
missed assignments. I know.
And the year before, so he missed assignments. He got flattened on a lot of times.
Oh yeah, he got flattened too. But then sometimes you
A
see he
lot of
doesn't
times.
block the right guy because they do a
True.
switch
Yeah.
and he stays on the
That's
guy
right.
and
That's right.
and then they just run a free guy goes right by them and just
Yeah.
goes.
And he's like
So,
going,
yeah,
which
you
way
can't
did he
have
go?
that.
Which way did he go? Which way did he
Yeah.
go?
And you can't do that with any quarterback, but especially if a
Yeah.
quarterback that's been known to get hurt a few times. So you definitely don't want free rushers or free lane to your quarterback on a regular basis because that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Because I really believe if Tua stays healthy this year, I know that's a big if, but I'm going to have faith that he's going to stay healthy this year, that the Dolphins are a definitely playoff contending winning team. I'm not going to say the Super Bowl yet because that's, to me, you got to win a playoff game. You can't win the Super Bowl. Can't be in the Super Bowl without winning a playoff game. So to me, let's win a playoff game. We haven't done it since December 30th, 2000. So it's time for the Miami Dolphins to end that streak and not be mentioned in the same breath as the Detroit Lions. Here, you can bring up Watt Dog's latest, Steve. See, so you can practice. Remember, because I want you to be able to produce some. There you go. Jackson, in my opinion, isn't a tackle. He doesn't have that dog him. I would have pushed him inside to left guard and have him near Teron Armstead. So you could be right, but they seem to be thinking he's the right tackle when you read all the things that the Dolphins are saying, that they seem to think he's the right tackle. But I agree with you, Walt Dog. He may have some potential at guard. I know he didn't do great at guard when they put him in there, but I think he did do a little better. But then he got hurt and stuff. So it's really hard to know, but what do you think about him being a guard or a tackle? I mean,
well, they've already tried him at that position, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they try him at that position already?
Yeah, they did.
They moved him around. That's, and that's the reason why he's playing a right tackle now, because he didn't work out at guard or the left tackle position.
Yeah. So this is his final.
And that's the reason. And honestly, that's the reason why Robert Hunt is in the right guard position, because he was supposed to play tackle as well. And he didn't work out at playing the tackle position, and because of Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg, they moved him to guard.
Yeah, well, I do believe that Hunt was probably better at right tackle than the other guys we had, but he's
I agree. Yes,
but he's better at guard. So they hate to move him from that spot and put him at, because I think he's okay at tackle and he's better than what we have. But then what do? Then you just make another weak spot at guard. So
then you're playing musical chairs again. You're playing
chairs, and then you make another position weaker, and it doesn't make sense. And then because he's really good at guard, just keep him there. He seems happy there. He's made a name for himself. He's looking at a good payday in a couple years when he's up for the contract.
He's a solid guard.
Yeah, he's a solid guard, and why mess with him? Keep him there. Because like you said, if they stay healthy, the big thing is Armstead. He doesn't always stay healthy, but he is really good. Connor Williams is really good, and Hunt is really solid and has the potential to be really good. So that's 3 of the 5 spots on the offensive line. So, I mean, I think we have the potential to be fine. The right tackle scares all Miami Dolphin fans, because for the Dolphins, that is basically the blind side. That's like, is because our quarterback throws left-handed, so that is the blind side. So you don't want that to be a weak spot.
Can I make a comment on since we were talking about Tua Tagovailoa, and also the offensive line? It kind of fits in together what I'm going to say. I don't know if you saw the interview with Tyreek Hill had an interview. This was before everything happened with him. By the way, we don't know what's going on with him. It's in the NFL's hands right now. But anyway, he had an interview with Michael Vick. Did you see it?
No, but I know you've brought it up before, but talk about it again.
Michael Vick basically was talking to Tyreek, and he was kind of giving some tips to Tua what he needs to do in order to keep himself healthy. One of the things he said that he needs to do is he needed to bulk up. He needed to gain more weight, and he
Well, he's
needed to
done
get
that.
stronger, which he has done this year. We've seen that.
Yeah.
Number two, which we haven't have evidence of that yet this year because we haven't played a single down and he hasn't gotten hit yet or anything like that. In his best advice that he gave Tua, better than jiu-jitsu, he said, don't get hit. So in other words, what he was saying was throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Throw the ball away, throw it in the dirt, live to play another down. That's the best advice that I've heard in a while, and it's just common sense.
No, it's common sense, but the one thing about Tua, the reason we love him, but it's also one of his weaknesses, is he's a competitor, and he wants every play to be the big play, and he tries every play to make the big play, but that sometimes comes back to hurt him by getting hurt or throwing an interception, because sometimes the play's just not there, and he has to learn that, and that will end, end that issue. So I see now you just threw up one of Watt dogs.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go back to but what Chris is trying to do is save his draft pedigree and have him as a starting tackle, when in actuality he was a first round pick, might not even be a top 50 pick on most teams' boards. Well, that's unfortunately
right
well said there. The Dolphins were kind of forced in 2020. They knew they had to get an offensive lineman, and they just kind of reached because the other ones were off the board, and the Dolphins kind of went up there. Martina, Dolphins have to take some responsibility for Eichenberg and Jackson's performance and development. The coaching under Flores' regime was nothing short of hopeless. I agree, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I agree with you 100%. The defense did do okay under Flores. You could tell he definitely was a defensive-minded coach. It was very evident. And that's why I'm hoping, because obviously Mike McDaniel is a very offensive-minded coach, but now that he brings in Fangio, he can let Fangio do the very defensive-minded stuff. I think it'd be a better complementary team, because we never had a great offensive coordinator under Florio. He changed them like we change underwear. He changed, he fired before the camp it started, one of the offensive lineman coach. He fired before the season even started after hiring him. And then he brought in the old guy, and I don't have nothing against old guys. But they brought him in, and then he's gone, and it's just like they just can never get any consistency on offense under, Flores. So it's just, it is what it is. Hopefully now we get some stability, and we finally keep a coach instead of every 3 years looking for a new coach, because that seems to be the pattern. We last about 3 years, and then we're Dolphin fans, instead of talking about Super Bowl wins, we're talking about the NFL draft, talking about offseason signings, and talking about what coach we're going to sign. I want that to be a thing gone. I want to be able to just talk about, man, I can't believe we won that playoff game, and now we're one step away from the Super Bowl. That's what we want to be talking about, But every few years, we're talking about coaches.
Well, here, I got a question. I got a question to the chat, audience in the chat. Are okay, and I'm just going to ask the question. I'm not going to make any comment on it, but here's the deal. What was Mike McDaniel's results last year? What was the record?
Well,
what was the record?
Oh, you're talking to them.
Yeah, it was 9-8. What was the results of Flores' record the year before that?
No, I know. No, you're right.
9-8.
Right.
So let's not jump the gun here and start, saying that Mike McDaniel, although I do like McDaniel, I love him. I think he's going to be a good coach for us. Let's not jump the gun and already start, shooting up the confetti and he's the guy and all that. Let's see what happens this year. That's all I'm saying. And the year before that, Flores had a 10-6 with that bad offense. So, right. But he had a hell of a defense.
Yeah, I know.
So, that's something we didn't have last year. We didn't have complementary play, and we didn't have the defense. Although in the last part of the season, the defense stepped up.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying. I have hope. And Cap for Life, welcome to the room. Fins up to you. And if you haven't done so already, please give me a fins up thumbs up here in YouTube lingo. I know. Unfortunately, that's a good question. We've gone the rookie head coach every single time under the what's his name, Stephen Ross tenure. He seems to go get the younger guys. He's tried to go out there and get, other names because I remember, and I'm happy we didn't get him. I mean, though Philbin didn't work out, but they tried to get Jeff Fisher. But I'm like, man, Jeff Fisher's just a recycled guy, but they did try to get him. And then we end up settling on Philbin, but neither one of them worked out at their other team. So it wasn't any big loss. But, we'll see, man. I mean, I do believe having experience helps, but then it also means that you failed somewhere too, probably too. So, it's just weird to look at it. But I would have loved Peterson, the one that ended up signing with Jacksonville when the Dolphins hired McDaniel. I really was hoping Peterson to be on the Dolphins' radar. He had played for the Dolphins in the past. He's already won a Super Bowl. He got Don Shula his magical victory. I thought it was a perfect fit to come home and become the Miami Dolphins' next coach. But we went the rookie route. And I like Mike McDaniel. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I like him. The players seem to like him. The players seem to play for him. But, yeah, if we would have hired Peterson, would we have been ahead of where we are now because he would have ruled out the rookie head coach mistakes? Who knows? But ultimately, at the end, it's going to come down to who wins playoff games, and that'd be the magical thing. Because, like I said, the Dolphins haven't done it since 2000. I mean, that's a long time to go without, and we're Miami Dolphin fans, and that used to be a good thing because Miami Dolphins, when I was growing up, and I used to complain, oh, we lost the Super Bowl against the Redskins. Oh, we lost the Super Bowl. And now, yes, it's the Commanders. But I don't want people to say, hey, but back then it was the Redskins, Washington, I would say, to get away from trouble. And then we lost to the 49ers, and I always say Dan Marino never bought Joe Montana that Diet Pepsi because they had a commercial after saying Dan Marino said, next year I'm buying Joe, and it never came to be, unfortunately. But the good thing is I like McDaniel. I think we will progress, and we just can't fire him after 3 years just because. He has to be like so gross and negligent. Sometimes you just got to let these guys grow a little more than just flip them every 3 years because sometimes it may take more. Because remember, when he came in here, he's an offensive line coach that's replacing a defensive lineman coach. So the whole philosophies are different. So, and it's just like they built a team because, whether you say he's building it right or whatever, but Greer was building the Dolphins for a Flores-type coach. Then he gets rid of Flores and he hires a Mike McDaniels. And now all of a sudden you got to build for a Mike McDaniels-style coach. So it's a big difference. So.
Well, the good thing, is the good thing is we did hire a Vic Fangio, which I think he was probably the best addition that we made this year.
Thank you, Watt Dog. Thank you so much, Watt Dog. I love those encouraging words. That's awesome. So thank you so much. But no, you're right. I think Fangio is probably our biggest addition. It's as good as a name as Jalen Ramsey is. I really think. Because Shula in the old days, he oversaw everything. He knew every aspect. He knew what was going on with special teams. He knew what was on. But in this day and age, a lot of these coaches have their specialties, Mm-hmm. Yes, you still got to be the overseer all week leading up in game plan. I want to hear that McDaniel stops in on the special teams meetings. I want to hear that he checks in on the defensive meeting. But on game day, I really, really hope that McDaniel only has to worry about offense. I don't want him to be like Adam Gase sitting on the bench looking at the, like that used to drive me crazy. I go, man, Shula would be rolling over in his grave if he saw this Adam Gase. Like he's on the bench, not even looking at what the defense do, looking at his play cards. I mean, that's insane, So I don't want him to be that. But I do want him not have to worry about, what's the defense doing? When the defense is on the field, he say, okay, I know Fangio is going to get us the ball back. I'm already worrying about what we're going to call in the next segment of plays. That's what I want him. I don't want to have him walk down the sideline like he did during the Lions game and tell his defensive coaches to get your blank together, because he had to walk down there and it got caught on national TV. Yep. He walked down there and told him, get your blank together, because they kept on jumping off sides, lining up in the neutral zone. So, and, they fixed it after. They probably, oh, man, McDaniel got mad, we did something wrong. So he wasn't happy with that. So that's good. Let's see. What did I want to get this comment up there from Marino. Go. Flores rookie record versus compare that as fair. Flores rookie record versus Mike McDaniel rookie record. Compare that. That is fair. Yes, you're okay. But what you got to also remember though, Flores' record, that was the tank year, supposedly, of course. They never proved tanking, but that was his year was when they were really. I was at that first game against the Ravens, the first home game of the season. Oh my God, that was horrible. Then I went to a couple others and it got better. But man, I mean, I went to a lot of others, but it got that first game was one of the worst Dolphin games I ever sat. I said, we're going to get killed. I was in New England, killed us that year a couple weeks later. So we were just getting beat down by everyone. To this day, I don't know how the Dolphins won 6 games that year. I don't know. And that we blew the number 1 draft pick where we could have had Joe Burrow. I don't know how that Dolphin team won 6 games. So I do give Flores credit there, though. That to get 6 wins out of that hodgepodge of a team, that they would sign guys off the street, start them that next week. So I mean, and they won 6 games somehow. And but hey. Yeah, I agree. And how the Jets signed him after seeing that he would completely in over. I don't know how he got that resume to be able to have the Jets go sign him. Adam Gase, I know no one's going to turn it down because that's just guaranteed money for life. But if I was Adam Gase, I would have turned down that job. Just go find an offensive coordinator and then he would still be in the NFL.
Yeah.
But they have the big ego. I understand. I would have probably taken the job too, but he wasn't ready to step into the Jets job after his bad job in Miami. I mean, it's just, he wasn't there, man. It's just, he wasn't there. McDaniels never seemed in over his head. Yes, we had some play clock issues and we had some pre-snap penalty issues, but he's addressed those himself. So hopefully those are fixed. What do you think about that, Steve?
About what?
About McDaniel, fixing his rookie mistakes that he's talked about.
Well, we talked about this a little bit, and I think he's going to correct. I think he's going to make necessary corrections. I still think he has it in his DNA. Like I mentioned earlier today, he's got the Ferrari, he's got the Maserati, he's got the 2 Lamborghinis in the backfield. He's got the speed, and I think
definitely got them on the
they didn't draft A-Chain for nothing.
No.
And Chosen is a speed demon as well. So I think he's going to utilize those guys. I mean, I hope he runs the ball more, and I hope they do a little more dinking and dunking. Short passes.
Oh, they will. If they bring in Cook, that will force his hand a little bit because you're not going to sign Cook to all of that and then not.
That's what we think, but we don't know. Yeah. I hope so. If that was, that's the case, if they do bring him in, but we'll see. We'll see. I think that's what they're going to have to do to have a more balanced attack. And honestly, I really think the key to winning this year is playing complementary football, and defense is going to be a big key. Big key.
No, I agree. Anyway, it's almost at the end of the show here. You guys think it, but Walt Dog, I know that's going to he's going to be. Justin Herbert and Tua will be compared their whole careers right now, and it's looking like, maybe the Dolphins should have taken Justin Herbert. I agree with you on that front. But at the end of the day, where you see Tua still has his chance to shine and show us that he was worthy of being the picked over Herbert. It's going to really come down to this year. But so far Herbert's out there throwing the ball all around the field, so I give you that. But hey, it is what it is. We can't go. There you go. 5K passing yards at a minimum. So, hey, that's a lot there, man. But, hey, that's a lot, especially since we were saying, hey, but you know what? We never know. We can hope. That'd be like some Dan Marino magical numbers if we can do that. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Steve, I guess without further ado, unless you have something to say.
No, that was it. I mean, we talked about everything. We talked
about who will get the money. We don't know
who's getting the money and all that. So we got camp coming up in the next 2 weeks. So about 11 days away.
11 days, guys. So there'll be a lot more stuff to talk about in the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you. We had a lot of you guys in here today. I appreciate it. Make sure if you haven't done it, please give me a thumbs up, but I like to say fins up. And Steve, let's tell them one more time who's number 1. You ready?
Ready.
All right.
Dolphins number 1, baby. Dolphins number 1.